Welcome back to Conversations with the Crew here. We're joined by defenseman Tait Ross, and we're here to play some Connect 4. And like I said, just because you're a junior A hockey player does not mean I'm going to take it easy on you in this game. But lived in Sherwood Park here for about over a year now, I guess. What's your favorite spot to eat some grub?
There's actually a couple good spots that the guys like going. Cafe Haven's a good one.
What do they sell?
It's like coffees, like the stuff like that. Some good wraps, good breakfast stuff. Local's another popular one that's good for Sundays when they have all the football on.
Oh yeah, who's your team?
Seahawks.
Ooh, how are you feeling about Geno Smith? You think he's the quarterback of the future, or what's up with him?
He's getting up there in age, but he's got a bad O-line in front of him. So once they figure that out, I think they'll be good.
Yes, and Jigba or whatever your guys' receiver, he played kind of nasty for you on Sunday.
Yeah, he had a sick game. He's a good player.
And I guess switching over to a whole nother sport, I mean, we got to address the elephant in the room here. Zach Edey, kind of doing his thing for the Memphis Grizzlies right now. I don't know what you're shaking your head for. He's nasty.
I'll forever be a Zach Edey hater, and you know that.
He's Canadian, bro. How are you going to hate on his game?
He's not skilled at all.
Looking back at hockey here, I guess the next game is the 13th against the Salmon Arm Silverbacks, playing obviously at the Silent Ice rink. What's it as a player playing in a rink obviously as nice as the Silent Ice?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to get some wins here, just like we do in Connect 4. So, yeah, going to a new barn and
yeah, work there.
Yeah, take it easy, hey. All right.
Oh wow!
But yeah, Silent Ice is a really nice rink, and it's not too far, and hopefully get some different fans out in the stands there.
Of course, you have traveled quite a bit to a couple different places here in the BCHL to start this season. What's been your favorite, I guess, quote unquote, vacation spot this season?
For me, it'd be the mainland. Like when we were down there in Chilliwack and Abbotsford, that's where I'm from, or roughly where I'm from. So, had a ton of family and friends out there watching games, and obviously, it's beautiful British Columbia. So, yeah.
Is there, I guess, looking back at some of your minor hockey days, is there a difference in the style of play that BC has compared to Alberta players? Have you noticed, or not overly?
I wouldn't say there's anything too apparent. Yeah, not something that I've really noticed, but maybe I'm just not looking hard enough. So.
And I guess, once again, looking back at the minor hockey, obviously, what's, I guess, one player, which is the best player, I guess, you've either played with or played against?
Played against is definitely Bedard. I grew up playing against Bedard. He's a year younger than myself, and he's a Vancouver guy, but he always played a year up, so probably played him handful of games every year. And, you're going against Bedard, you're like, probably going to score a hat trick on you. Doesn't matter how good you play.
And speaking of the Canucks, I guess, how do you feel about their start to the season so far?
They were a little slow, but they figured it out. Pettersson's going to get hot here, and they're going to have a good year.
Sure hope so. It was like 7 goals in like 43 games since signing his contract or something like that.
Hey, he scored last night, so it's 1-1 if you ask me.
How are your thoughts on Kiefer Sherwood, the pickup in the offseason?
He's good. He's a wrecking ball. Yeah. He's a buzzsaw.
Him and Garland are just dogs in the corner.
Yeah, Garland's a little guy. He's good.
I gotta clutch up here. I can't believe I lost that first game.
Oh, I can believe it.
And looking back at some football here, you big college football guy?
I honestly don't pay too much attention to it. I know there's a couple guys like Jangle's pretty big. This past summer, I was lucky enough to go to Europe with a bunch of my buddies. So we went to Hungary, Austria, and Spain, which is a pretty cool vacation.
What was your best country to visit out of the 3?
I really enjoyed Austria. Yeah, Vienna was a really nice city and had a bunch of cool history there.
Oh yeah, I bet. Going to a couple wine tours or?
No, nothing like that. Dialed in for the off season.
Of course, taking a look at the season now, of course, on Friday, the next home game will be a Remembrance Day for the Crusaders. So, I mean, I guess, of course, the Crusaders may be playing for some more than just a hockey game that night.
Yeah, I think that that day is always important. There's a lot of people that sacrifice their lives for our ability to, play a great sport like hockey. So we're always playing for those people, but especially on a day like Remembrance Day, it is a little more enthusiastic.
And you were on both teams, obviously, this year's and last year. So maybe what's the biggest difference in the two teams?
There's quite a few differences. Obviously, this year we got quite a young roster. Last year we were a little older, a little more experienced. This year we're going through some different growing pains, but maybe a little more skilled, maybe a little faster. But yeah, they're both really fun teams to play on. And, we're gonna have another good year here.
For sure. And I guess what's been the longest road trip the crew have been on this season so far? Has it been to was it the one to Abbotsford?
Yeah, that Abbotsford was that Abbotsford one was quite a long one. Probably 13 hours or something like that on the bus with a few stops. So yeah.
And big movie guy on the bus, TV show guy. I know a lot of the Crusaders were big on the Outer Banks with that question.
Yeah.
Were you a big Outer Banks guy as well?
You know what? I watched a few episodes of that. It was all right. Oh, you got me here.
What can I say? Another
All
day
right.
in the office here.
Yeah, we'll take the loss. I was watching Lincoln Lawyer. That's a good one. Season 3 just dropped of that. Outer Banks, I don't know. Wasn't feeling the new season. I'm also a Suits guy. So
Very good.
yeah, been rewatching that.
Speaking of, I guess, movies all together on an island, what are your go-to 3 movies that you can't live without?
I'm gonna say Step Brothers. It's a classic.
Obviously.
Always get a good giggle out of that.
Obviously.
I'm gonna go Interstellar.
Okay.
It's a long one, but it's unreal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. This is a tough question. I just kind of want to round it out. I got a funny one. I got a little more of an intense one.
You seem like maybe a romantic movie guy. You got any romantic movies you like?
No, actually, that one last year with like Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney.
Is it,
That was a hit with the boys last year. Anyone But You.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I'll put that one on there.
That one is a pretty good movie,
It's
actually.
pretty funny.
Actually, I should watch that in movie theaters as well. So it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I think we might have watched it a couple times.
If you weren't a hockey player, I guess, what do you think you'd be doing as a profession?
Asking the hard-hitting questions here. I was honestly more into soccer when I was growing up than I was into hockey.
So what got you into hockey? Not to cut you off, but what got you into hockey?
I think I was in grade 1, and just like a couple of my buddies were playing. And I was like, and I liked watching it. Like I was always a big fan of the Canucks. Like my parents watched it. My parents never played, but I was like, can I try it out? Like, yeah, sure. And then I met a couple good friends playing hockey, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I guess obviously stuck with it. So,
yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
What's your greatest minor hockey, memory growing up in Vancouver or British Columbia,
I think my Pee Wee team. Come on, man.
Wow, what
are you doing?
What am I supposed to do with that?
Ruining the game.
Oh, frick, I didn't know we ordered frickin' Connect 4 off Temu over here. Like, come on.
I think my Pee Wee team went to Arizona for like a week, and that was a blast. But we'd always have good spring tournaments and stuff like that. Yeah, always fun memories. Looking back at it, like sometimes it's hard to remember just because you're so little, but you just remember having a fun time at the rink all the time.
Especially being as nasty as you are at hockey. There's tons of great memories every year.
Yeah, maybe I was a little better back then. So
big spring hockey, that guy though, like every year, or?
Yeah, spring hockey's huge. First team I was on was just a bunch of my buddies that were from like the area. We just had a blast. Like, we weren't that great, but we always had a fun time. We actually won some games just because we were pretty tight knit. But yeah, we're still in touch with a bunch of those guys, which is good.
That's good to hear. Taking a look back at the season here, you've played a handful of teams so far, obviously barring the Spruce Grove Saints. Who do you think would be the biggest rivals? Obviously barring the Brooks Bandits as well in the season so far.
Well, you just took away the two biggest rivals, so
Wow.
it's kind of a tough question. But we played Black Falls in the playoffs last year, but I don't know, those games have been a little heated. I think really anytime you play a good team, though, like both teams just want to win. Both got competitive players and stuff like that. So, Penticton, obviously, Brooks, but you took that option away from me.
Well, those are two T-ball those are two T-ball answers, man.
Yeah. So I think, just anytime you really play a good team, there's going to be some emotion.
And maybe a question here to call out your teammates a little bit. If one player on the team was to dress up as a goalie, who do you think would be the worst on the team?
Be the worst goalie? I'm trying to think of who's uncoordinated. Breck. Breck would be a horrible goalie, even though he's one of the bigger guys. That guy is probably the least coordination I've ever seen. Just like his brother.
I know at one point he was leading the league in penalty minutes. Does he ever brag about that at all?
I think he is. Yeah, I actually offered him $50 if he leads the league in penalty minutes at the end of the year. So
he's on a little bit of a tear right now.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get that.
It's getting a close game here, going into OT. Or when's the last time you played Connect 4?
Well, the last time I won is right now. So.
That was quick work. Well, thank you very much, Tait Ross, for joining us in this Connect 4 in the first episode of Connections with the Crew.
Thank you.